Pterodactyl here, and it's August 1st of our fuel treatment experiment sponsored by the Ariens Company and ProPartsDirect.net. For all your small engine part needs, go to them. So we're going to do the same thing as we did last month. We're going to start with number 10 and work our way down to number 1. So here we are with Tron. And we're gonna turn it on and start it.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What do you want, Ronnie?
I think we need to address this little K100 issue over here from last month's video.
What's there to address? It failed. The fuel treatment failed. So let's move on.
No, I don't think so. A lot of comments. People want to see the fuel. They want you to address the issues that were going on with it. I've seen a lot of comments about it.
Okay, well that's a good idea, Ronnie. Yeah, we could drain the fuel out and show it. And I can clean the main jet on it because that's why it wouldn't start, because that's how carburetors work when they run and die. Can't pull up any fuel through the main jet. As I explained before, a carburetor works when you pull it, it's pulling air in through the air cleaner across the nozzle, the same as if you put a straw in a glass of water and blew over the top of the straw. It's going to draw the fuel out. So that's how the carburetor works, and that's what was wrong with that one. It was partially blocked by that crap that was in there, which is the fuel deteriorating. So yes, let's do that. I got a jar here. Let's drain the fuel out.
Ah, excellent. Been waiting all month for this.
Got the gas shut off. Pull the fuel line off.
Wow, that guy was getting it.
Oh yeah, got a lot of gearheads around here.
It'll take 6 years to drain out.
Okay, it's all out. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of want to take a sip.
So, what had happened is the carburetor has got an atmospheric vent on it, and that small amount that was in the float bowl, that's what had deteriorated. So let's take the carb spray we got. Blow it through the main jet. Now remember, this gas tank has got this filter on it that we poured the fuel through. And the gas can also has a filter in it.
And there's probably another little filter down in here.
More than likely. So, we'll hook it back up. I'll bolt this back to the bench. We're going to pour this fuel, this same fuel, we're going to pour it back in there. And we're going to see if it starts. Okay, got it all back together. We even got a paint strainer in our funnel. We got the other strainer in there. Switch is on.
Oh, see
Got
what
the
happens.
choke out. there you have it. It was a carburetor issue. You seen this engine, it ran for 6 months before, ran every month, then all of a sudden that month, last month, it didn't want to start. And I tried starting it several times. It only run for a second, and that was at the choke out. It run and died. Plugged main jet, and you seen the crap in the bowl. You seen the stuff that was in the bowl. I dug it out with my finger and showed you. That's deteriorated fuel. And that red stuff, that's not the tip of the needle. If the needle was bad, if it had a bad needle and seat, the gas would have all leaked out. You got a leaky needle and seat, the gas is going to leak out. And it's going to leak out through the center of here, and it would have drained all out of here. It would have just ran out, and the tank would have been empty. So it wasn't the tip of the needle. So there you have it. K100 failed. All right, does that answer your question?
Yeah, but I still think maybe you should do your own little experiment with K100.
You mean like a bench test like Donnie Boy did?
Yeah,
where
why
he
not?
tested it? Yeah, I could do that. We could bench test it.
All right, yeah, I want to see the stuff working.
Okay, let's go in the shop and we'll do our own little bench test like Donnie did. Okay, here we are in the shop. Got the K100. This was the gas we used. This was the gas can for the K100. And the problem I've got with Donnie Boy's video, now listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash Donnie Boy. I know Donnie Boy. I've talked to him a couple times on the phone. We actually tried to get him to be in our collaboration video. So, the problem I have is the way he did his experiment. He took a jar and he just poured a small amount of water in there. Then he took the K100 and he poured the same amount of K100 to the water. So he mixed it to a 1-to-1 ratio. And that's not how the manufacturer is telling you how to mix it. If you got phase separation, which is where the water, you know, the gasoline can't absorb any more water, so it just separates. You're not going to know how much water you have in the gas tank of your piece of lawn equipment. You're going to be mixing it the way they say. And if you mix this stuff 1-to-1, because there was a comment that said K100 is supposed to be mixed 1-to-1. I don't think he understands what 1-to-1 means. 1-to-1 would mean a gallon of gas to a gallon of K100. Are you going to buy a gallon of this? This is an 8-ounce bottle. You're going to buy a gallon of this and mix it? A gallon to a gallon? No, that's not how it works. So, in our experiment in January, we mixed all the fuel treatment per what the manufacturer recommends. K100, right here. They make all these claims. Right on the bottle. It's an octane booster. It's a superior lubricant. Prevents phase separation. Stabilizes fuel for up to 2 years. Right on the label it says, 1/2 ounce per gallon. We mixed 2 gallons. We put 1 ounce in. For longer storage, 1 ounce per gallon. This is their recommendation. This is what they're telling you. So this is what we're going to do. I got this syringe that's got ounces and cc's on it. I'm going to put a very small amount of water I'm going to draw out of this Slippers mug, which you can get on our online store if you want the Slippers mug. Right, that's a 1/2 ounce. This is 1/4 ounce. I'm going to go even smaller than that. I'm going to go probably about 1/8 ounce. Like 3 cc's of water. Okay, that's a very small amount of water. And I'm going to fill it to the 12-ounce mark. Now, what's nice about this gas can, these gas cans we got from Pro Parts, is these are not vented until you push on this. So this can will actually keep your gas fresher longer. Because when I push this in, you're going to hear the air escape. Yeah, a little bit of air. Now this is a ½ ounce because they make water burn. And swirl it up just like he did. And let's let it set and see what happens. Oh look, didn't absorb any water. The water's still in there, you can see it. Okay, to be fair, let's add another ounce of K100 to this. Now, I've highlighted this. We've got about 1.5 gallons in here. We've used about 1/2 gallon of gas out of here already, because we had to fill that engine that we used in the experiment. So, here's the 1.5 gallon mark. Here's a little bit less because we poured 12 ounces. Man, you hear them guys racing, Ronnie? What's going on today?
I don't know, Taryl. I think maybe those guys are excited because it's Shark Week.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I like Shark Week. All right, again, small amount of water like we did before. About 3 cc's. Here's the K100. Let's dry this out real good. There's 1 ounce. Oh, I gotta get this cap off. Here we go. And as you can see, this gas can also has a strainer in it. And there's no debris in there. So we're going to add another ounce. So we're going to be slightly overdosing it now. Well, let's see if it'll absorb the water now. That small amount. There's our water. Now, I never knew anything about this K100 until we did our video where I had mentioned that my brother Farrell, not me, liked the seafoam. He was the one that likes the seafoam. And then a lot of you commented in the comment section that K100, you gotta try K100, Daddy boy, K100, K100, Daddy boy, K100. Like, all right, I never heard of K100. That's not readily available where we are at. So I said, well, let's give K100 a try. And look, even though we added another ounce, we swirled it. still water. Even though we mixed it good. Is not absorbing the water. You can still see it floating around in there. There it is at the bottom. Because water is heavier than the gas, so it goes right to the bottom. So, hey, I know a lot of you said in the comments too that you've been using K100 and it's been working for you. You know, another thing you got to take into consideration is where are you storing your equipment? Maybe you're storing it in a cool, dry place. It doesn't matter what fuel additive you use, or you could even use straight fuel. You might not have any problems. You know, that's why we're doing the experiment the way we're doing it in that hot shed, that hot box, because heat and cold deteriorate fuel the fastest. When it's in direct sunlight or extremely cold, that's what ruins fuel. That's why we're doing it this way. So if you're using K100 and it's working for you, that's great. Keep using it. If you think it's a great product, go ahead and use it. I'm just showing you what I'm finding. And it was the first one out. So it's out now. It's out of the experiment. It failed. You all saw it on camera. We all did these little experiments. We got the engine running again. It's smoothed out. But hey, for storage purposes, we mixed it according to what they recommend. 6 months into the experiment, it failed. It's out. So let's go out there and see if we have any others that'll fail. All right, as you can see, we've got about the same amount of evaporation, and boy, look at the color change from the sealed jar to the vented jar.
Yeah, look at that number 8. Hopefully I'll be calling in a lot of bets today.
All right, so here we are with Tron. Switch on, choke out. Was it Tron that was one that was surging? Running pretty good now. Gas Guardian. Switch on, choke out. Number 9. Engine that was surging a lot early on. Now it seems to smooth out. Sta-Bil 360. Confused there and shut it off instead of pushing the choke in. Ethanol Shield, number 7. last month, July, we had a lot of hot days. Real hot and sticky here in Podunk. Real humid. Today's a nice day. It's kind of overcast. And it's a lot cooler. It's only on the temperature gauge. What are we at? 80. And it's about noontime here. So Stent Shield, number 6. Switch on, choke out. Now we're on the seafoam. Switch on, choke out. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention last month we did put the white background. That was a good suggestion we saw in the comments. So you could see the jars better. So we took your advice and put the white backgrounds on. All right, seafoam, here we go. Number 5. The VP, Vice President, like Uncle Andy, my Senior Vice President, VP. Now you notice the VP's got some kind of discoloration going on too. Kind of like a gray almost. It's turning. It's getting a little discoloration to it. All right, now we're down to the pump fuel. Here we are with the pump fuel. Real smooth, but if you look at the fuel, there's, you know, a little bit of discoloration, not really that bad compared to the 87, which is considerably darker. All right, 87, switch on, choke out.
It's probably gonna start.
I thought for sure we were going to have another one fail. You know, I'm sorry to see that K100 failed in the test, but again, that's why we're doing this test. And then September 1st, next month, we're going to start these. Remember these engines? These got 87, straight 87 octane fuel, one inside, one outside. That'll be the 3-month mark where we went to start it. And again, in the comments, I keep saying these same comments. People just don't get the fuel experiment. You know, you got to use aviation fuel. You got to go to an airport and get some aviation. What do I want to use that for? Again, the test is fuel treatments that are supposed to guard against ethanol problems. That's why we're using ethanol fuel. You should get pump fuel that's got no ethanol in it. You should get non-ethanol pump fuel. Yeah, well, this is the closest to that. That's why we're using this. That's the closest to that. Understand? Do you understand now? 8 months into it? Or are you just doing those comments to tick me off? So, I'd like to thank Ariens and Pro Parts for sponsoring this experiment. Tune in again next month, September 1st. We'll see if we have another one fail. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Follow me with your pump fuel and your aviation fuel and your non-ethanol fuel. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Taryl Fixes All. Got stuff there. I got the Blade Man throttle shirt on. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! No failures! August 1st! All engines ran! One man out!
They all live to see another month.
That's right, Ronnie.